Hello, welcome to WiseLink Academy. For today, we're going to reproduce that figure you are seeing at the right corner of the screen. It is a question in isometric projection. First thing first, before you can produce that figure, our first task is to read out the dimension of that figure. As you can see, for the clearer view of that figure, you see it as you can see it in front of you. Right, this is the figure here. First thing first, I want you guys to observe something closely. My first task here is that I need to know my breadth. My breadth from here to here is simply my breadth, which is what? 60. Note that our breadth is 60. Next up, our entire length from here to somewhere here is going to be, since here is 140, right? Our entire length 140 plus this 15, there's an arc of 15 here, plus this 15, also plus this 15 here, right? So I will have 170. Hence, our total length is what? 170. How did I get 170? 140 plus 15 here will give 170. Having known the breadth to be 60, the length to be 170, perhaps we need to know the height of this figure. Hence, my height simply becomes, if you observe closely, from here, listen, from here upward is what? Diameter of what? Is 40. Since the bigger circle here is 80, hence half here is 40, half here is 40. So from here to somewhere here is 40. Also 40 plus from here to here is 75 plus 15. So hence my entire height is 130. So note that from this point here to this point is what? 41. Right? So now let's start producing out the figure. First thing first, our first task here is to draw our isometric axis, right? So doing that, if I want to draw my isometric axis, what will I get? Drawing my isometric axis, I will take my t-square down this way, and I will draw a horizontal line, right, as you can see in front of you. Also, I will take my set square this way, right, as you can see. I will draw this down this way. I will take it down this way to the left hand side. Also, I will draw it down this way. Perhaps I will take my set square and my t-square this way. On this point, I will project it upward. Now, our breadth from here to here is going to be what? In the question, to be 60. As you can see the figure in front of you. From here, from this point here to this point, is 60. Right? Next up, from this point here to this point, we said our what? Our entire length is 170. So I'll measure out to 170. If you see this does not reach 170, so I'll take another arrow 170, right? So I will measure out 18 here. Why? Because I'm starting with 1. So from this point here to this point here is simply 170, right? That's why I'm 170. Alright, my next task is to get the height. Getting the height, we said the height was what? Was from our calculation 130. So I measure out 130 from here to this point is 130. So I have 3 points, 1, 2, and 3. With the help of my t-square, tangential to my set square, I'll produce out a circle with this. A box with this. Take it this way down. Take this one down this way, right? Also, I will take this down this way. Join this point down here. As you can see, also I will take my set square this way. I will join these 2 points together. This point here to touch this, right? Draw. I have this, as you can see. Next up, I will take it down this way again. From this point, I will extend it downwards this way. So I will now take my set square this way and close this edge up. So I have successfully reproduced out the box at which this figure will be produced out from. Let me show you the box. So you can see the box, right? So my first task now here is that, alright, here's the figure as you can see in front of you. First thing first, I need to if you observe closely from the figure, our first task is to produce out that big circle as you can see in front of you, right? Now we need to produce out this circle, but for us to do that, we need to get the center of this. From here to here, we said it's 170. We need to get the center, which will be what? 85. So we can produce out this figure. So measuring 85 with a meter rule, if I measure 85, it simply means from this point here, 85 from this point here to this point here is given to be 85, right? At that point, I'll place my t-square this way and take my set square this way. I'll draw a vertical line upward this way, right? So I have this. This is equally divided this way. Next up, I'm given the diameter of this circle. The diameter here is going to be, the bigger one is going to what? 80. So I'll measure out 40 with my compass. So from here to this point is 40. At this point here, strike an arc 1. Also come to this point here, strike another arc. Right? So I will now take my set this way. I'll strike an arc here, faint 1. Also strike another arc here, faint 1. So I have this. The reason why I did this now, you get to know much more better. Take my set square this way on my t-square. This point here, I will draw it down this way with a faint line. As you can see, next up, I will take this middle point here too. I'll draw it the way I did that previous one. As you can see, it's touching this arc I did initially. I will now take my t-square this way to my set square. At the point here, I'll take it downward. As you can see, next up, come to this point. I'll take this point downward this way. So I have this, as you can see in front of you. My next task is to join longest point from here to here, and this diagonal here, which one is longest? From here to here is long, so I will join it using offset method from this point here to this point, right? I will join it together. As you can see, next up I will join this point and this point here together. Also this point and this point here together. So where they meet at this point, call it B. Call this point here point B, right? Alright, at that point I will take my compass at this point here, point B. So now I'll strike an arc to produce out that isometric circle this way. I have this. Next up, at this point here, I'll take it the same way to produce out my isometric circle, right? So I have this. Next task, come to this edge point, extend it this way to produce out the isometric circle, right? At this point, I will simply gauge it. Sorry. Alright, at this point, I will gauge it this way, right? I have this. Also, at this edge point here, I will gauge it to touch each other, right? Touch each other. Right, after gauging it, I will make sure I draw the isometric circle this way. So I have this, right? Next up, if you observe closely, the circle we're having there is just two circles, right? We have this bigger circle which we have already produced. Also, this smaller circle, we need to produce out. Diameter of 60, I'll measure 30, right? From this point here to this point is 30, right? At this point here, center point here, strike an arc 1, 2, 3, and perhaps 4. I have this way. So I'll take my C square. I'll take it all those points. I'll draw it down this way. Right, I'll just draw this point down this way. Also, I'll draw this point here down this way. Now I'll take my set square this way. I'll join those points together to produce out a square. So I did initially. This point here, I'll join it down to this point. So this is what I want. This is a square I have produced out. So you can see in front of you. So the diagonal line has been drawn already. My next task is to join this point here to this point together this way. Also, this point here down to this point. Call this S. Call this S. Right? Now, having considered that, I'll take my compass this way and gauge it to produce out my isometric circle, the smaller one inside. So you can see, next up at this point too, I will also gauge it, right, to produce out my isometric circle, which I have. As you can see, next up at this point here, extend it down to produce out the isometric circle, right? So doing that, we're having this, right? Also at this point here, I'll gauge it, right? Gauging it, I'll be having this coming. Ensure that it is touching each other. So we have reproduced out the circles of that isometric, as you can see in front of you. My next task now is to take my T square this way, right? I will ensure touch this edge here. I will extend this edge down this way, right? Extend this edge here down this way. Also coming up here, I will extend this edge down this way, right? Such that I will take at this point here, I will take it down this way. Where it meets here, right? I will take it up. I will take this point up, right? Also, I'll take this point here to touch this other point here, as you can see that. So my next task now is that I'll join this point and this point here together. So from this point to this point, I will join it together this way, as you can see what I am doing. So my next task is that I will take it, my T square this way. This is point, this is big. This is I purposely put B and X. B means the bigger circle and S means smaller circle. Now for the bigger circle, take it to this point, this center point here. Let it touch this point here. Next up, this point here, let it touch this point here, right? This point here, right? As you can see. So with the help of my compass, right? I'll get it this way. This is the bigger one at this point. This edge point is at this point. Alright, I'll just take in perhaps this place, right? So I have 3 points. At this point here, I will gauge it to touch each other this way, right? Touch each other this way. Doing that, I'll be having this, right? I'll be having this. So my next task is that, having done this, I will take my meter rule to join these points together this way. So I will have this, as you can see, at the corner of the screen, right? So my next task now is that I will take my set square this way. I will thicken this part a little bit upward. So I have this, right? I have what you are seeing at the right corner of the screen. So my next task now is that, if you observe closely, right? If you observe closely, there's what you need to note. This is my figure. I've reproduced all these circles and this man here, right? So my next task now is to come to this part here, which is area here. Now if you observe closely, the radius of this stuff here is 50, radius R15. So I'll produce out R15. I'll measure 15 on my meter rule. From this point here, 1.5 to this point is simply 15. So at this point here, I'll strike an arc 1, 2, as you can see. Similarly, downwards 1 and 2, also 1 and perhaps 2 this way. So I will take my set square, right, tangential to my t square, this way. At this point, I'll draw it down. At this point, I'll simply draw it down. As you can see, I will take my t square this way. At this point, I will draw it down this way. That point here too, I will take it down this way. So as you can see, my aim now is to produce out a box. Take this edge point here down this way, right, and extend this point here down with a faint line, right? So I will take my, at this point here, take it down this way. As you can see, next up, I will extend this line down. So take this point where they meet down to touch that line you have drawn initially, and extend this line this way. So I have produced out box, as you can see. So I need to produce out a circle in the box. So I will take my meter rule. From this point here to this point, I will join together this way. I will take it at this point here, draw it down, and at this point here, the same thing, draw it down. Where they meet is at this point and at this point, right? So I will take my compass, right, and I will take it at this point here. First thing first, at this point, I will close up these 2 points from here. Take it down, gauge it to touch each other this way. So I've taken this point here. I need this point, right? I need this point. As you can see, I've taken this part here. As you can see what I'm doing. Next up, if you observe, I also need this point. I'll take it at this point and gauge it this way, touch each other, ensure they are touching, each other, right? So I have this, as you can see, at the right corner of the screen. So my next task is that, I haven't considered this. Also, I need to take out this, at this point here, center point here, join these 2 points together. Before that, I'll take my set square. I mean this man this way. I will draw a diagonal line at this point here. this point here, diagonal line this way, right, such that I will take my set square this way. At this point here, strike that same point here. Also at this point here, strike that same point on this line you have drawn. So having done that, I will take my compass, yes. At this point here, I will draw an arc this way to touch this, just this point here. You can see. So I will take my meter rule, I will join this point and this point together this way. So I have this. Next up, at this center here, I will join that 2 points together, this point and this point together. You can see what we are doing. So next task is that what I did here, I will replicate the same thing at this point here, right? So doing that, replicating that, I will take my I'll measure 15 out. But before I go down there, there's a smaller circle of what? Smaller circle of diameter of what? 16. So I'll measure what? 8. So measuring 8 from here to here is my 8. So at this point here, 8. So I'm measuring 8 at this point here. Strike an arc here. 1, 2, 3, and also 4. Where those arcs have cut meet, as you can see, what I'm doing, I'll take this point here upward. I'll take this point here upward. Right? I'll take this, join this 2 points here this way, and also join this point here this way. So as you can see, I put that like a square, right? So such that I will join this point and this point together. Also join this point and this point together with the help of my compass or perhaps French curve. Alright, so I will take my compass at this point. I will join these 2 points together, as you can see. Alright, I will come to this point here also. I will join these 2 points together. Come to this point, I will ensure to close them this way. You can see. Also at this point, I will close it finally. Right? So I have this. So I've successfully put out that circle inside. So I'll take my meter rule also, measure 15 as we did initially. At this point here, right? Take an arc 1, also 2. At this point here again, take it 1 inward, 2. I'll take my set square this way. At this point, at this edge point, take it down this way. Come in. I'll take that down, this edge point down this way. I'll also measure 15. From this point here, 1, also 2. As you can see what I'm doing. So my next task now is that I will take my set square this way, draw this down, also draw this down, right? As you can see what I'm doing. I will take my set square this way. At this point here, extend it down this way. As you can see, also extend this point down this way. So I'm doing. Alright, at this point here, take this one down this way, right? So I will take this point here down this way, just follow the procedure, turn it this way and join these 2 points together. Also this center point, elongate it, right? So I have my box. Join this edge point to this together. So I have my box. As you can see, as you can see in front of you. My next task is to join this point and this point together such that it passes to the center line. Also, from here to here, I have it from here to here, I have it this way, right? So I need these 2 points here to draw out that circle you are seeing with the help of my compass, right? So I'll take it down this way. At this point here, I will gauge it this way, right? So I'll join these 2 points together, join this together this way. So at this point here, right, I will gauge these 2 to touch each other, right? You can see what I'm doing. So I have that, right? I have what you're seeing in front of you. Let me take in this so you can see it. So I have this, right? My next task is to produce that same inner circle I did here. But before I do that, I need to complete out this. I will also ensure what I did to the first one. I will take it at this point here, draw a diagonal line this way also. I'll take my, with the help of my set square, I will take it down this way, right? This center point here, this point here, I'll take it down here, right? At this point here, I will take it down here. That's the 2 points I need. So I will, with the help of my compass, right, I will come to this point and gauge it this way. I have this way. So hence, I will take my meter rule and close these 2 points together this way, right? Also, if you observe closely, as you can see in front of you, this place from this point here, this backward here to this point is taken. I'll taking it this way. So I have what you are seeing in front of you. Alright, my next task now is that if you observe again, I need to produce, we have produced, also produce out, we want to produce out these circles. This circle here, produce it out here. And the circle has a diameter of 16, so I'll measure 8 as we did initially. At this center point here, take it 1, 2, 3, and perhaps 4 at this point. So I will join points together. Join this point here down this way. Join this point here down this way, as you can see. Also, I will close it up this way. I'll close it up this way. I have that. So my next task is to join points together. Join this point here. I will simply join this point here, this center point here, right, to this here. Also, this point here to this. So I need this point here and this point here. At those points, right, I'll take my compass, I will gauge it together to touch each other. So I have this for that side. If I gauge these 2, I will have this. Also, at this point, I will close that symmetric circle. I have this. You can see. Also, at this point, I will close this stuff. So I've closed it up. So I have the circle you're seeing. So next up, my next task is that, listen please, if you observe closely, we have produced out this, which is this, and this, right, which is this. My next task now is that there's an 41 inward, right, from this point 41 inward, right. So I'll just, at this point here, right, this point here, I'll measure 41 inward. So 41 from that point, from here to here is 41, right? So where it meets here, I will name it 41 so that I avoid confusion, right? Where it meets here, 41. Also, I will take my set square this way. I will extend it down to this point from this point here, extend it down this way. Where it meets here, call it 41. Also, I will extend it downwards this way, down this way. Where it meets here, at this point, call it 41. That's at point 41, right? Also, I'll take it this way. I'll take it down this way. Down this way, to ensure that it touches this 41 up here, right? So take it down. So where it meets here, this point here is also 41. So I have 41, 41, 41, 41. It's producing out a square, right? So I will just join this 41 here to this bigger one up here, this way. As you can see what I'm doing. So having joined this point and this point together, I will take my set square this way, right, to B. B simply means the bigger one, Abi. So extend to B. I'll touch it with that diagonal I've drawn, 41, 41 diagonal I've drawn. I will take in this part here, right? Also, I will take it down this way. I will take in this part here, this space here. As you can see what I'm doing, right? So I have that. My next task is that come to this point here, the bigger one here, this point B. I'll taking it at this point. Also, this point here, I will take it down this way. So I have that. So I will have my compass at this point here, right? I will gauge it down this way. At this point here, I will gauge it down this way, the faint line. As you can see what I'm doing, faint line. Also, at this edge point 41, I will extend it this way. At this point, I will gauge it to touch this, right? So gauging it to touch each other, I will have this. So I have this. You can see. Next up, at this point here, at this point, I'll take it down this way, right? You can see, this one is the faint line. I have this. So I will take I will produce out that, I'll take my set square this way. I will draw a vertical line upward. Also, at this point here too, draw a vertical line upward. So I need this vertical line I draw upward, this vertical line upward here too. I purposely did that so that you should identify that these two stars. So I haven't done that, right? I need to get the center of this. So getting the center, I can just take this, when we divided this from here to here is 170. The distance from here to here is half. 170, half is 185. So we take it upward. So this point where it meet here, I will just extend it down this way. So here is my center. Here, my center. So I'll measure 41 inward, right? 41 inward. So measuring 41 inward. Before that, okay, let's measure 41 inward. 41 inward from this point here. From this point to this point is 41 inward. So at this 41, I will just take my set square this way. I'll just draw a vertical line, or sometimes incline line this way. Where that line touches this star is this point here, right? Where that line touches this second star here is this point here, right? Now observe this edge point here is this edge point here, this edge point here, right? As you can see. So I will take my meter rule or my set square perhaps, because it's somehow long. Join this point and this point together, the faint line first. So I will take this point, join it down this way, the thick line. Also, at this point too, I will take join it down this way, the thick line, right? So just take this down and close it up. I have this, right? So if you observe, distance from here to here, since here to here is 15, automatically here to here is 15. So I'll measure 15 on my meter rule. From here to here is 15, and I'll take in it. It is taken. Also, I'll take it from here, 15, right? From here to here, 15. I'll take in it, right? So having considered that, my next task is to take my, let's square this way. I'll close this guy up. Also, I'll close this guy here up, right? So I can just take my meter rule to close these 2 points together. As you can see, what we are having. Also, we said what we did initially here. From this point here, I will take it down this way, right? So I will extend. I'll just take in this point here down, take it down this way. Also, I'll take this point here down this way. Also, I will take this point here down this way. So that line I drew here, I will take in it. So I have this. Also, I will extend this one down this way. I'll extend this guy down here, right? Also, at this point here, I will extend it down this way, right? So I need to take in out this guy. This guy here is this guy here. This one here, I'll take it out. How did I get this stuff? I got it by putting my pin of compass at this 41, right? And I strike an arc. So doing that again at that 41. So to get the same arc I did initially, I will not taking it. So I've taken it, as you can see. So my next task is that we're almost through representing that figure. My next task is that if you observe closely, right, there is a connection here, right? See, listen, there's a straight line here and a straight line down here. A straight line should come down here. So how would I do that? I'll take my T-square this way. This point here, extend it down. So just take this one down where it touches that point. This point here, take it this way. Also, I will close this guy this way and take this point up finally this way. So I have this. If you observe, there's a curve at this point. There's an arc at this point, closing these two parts together. So how do I go about getting the arc? So first thing first is that I will also replicate the same thing I did initially. Point here, right? I'll just extend it down to touch this. Also, I will take it down here to touch this, right? I'll connect this point and that point together this way. So where they now meet, this diagonal here, this point B at this point here. So I'll take my compass at that point where I stick here. I will join this together this way to have this, as you can see at the right corner of the screen. So I have successfully replicated out that figure you are seeing at the right corner of the screen. If you have found this class helpful, do not forget to click on the discussion button and like. Thank you. Welcome to WAEC Academy.